what the biggest contribution that Great Britain has made, and she said, deporting Robin Leach.
Hello, 1, 2.
Johnny Carson mastered running The Tonight Show smoothly, but some moments were so awkward that everyone froze.
What bugs you? Do you have a low boiling point on certain things? Outside of being here, of course.
These are the 15 most awkward moments in Johnny Carson history. Giant Snake gets too close to Johnny Snake.
What does it weigh, about 50, 60 pounds?
She weighs about, she weighs
If only in real life.
Joan Embery brings out a huge snake, which instantly went toward the last place Johnny wanted it to.
You're better off at that end.
I think, yes.
You never want to put them around your neck. You don't want to handle them alone. You need help.
Never put them around your waist.
Carson later told his producer, next time she brings a reptile that size, give me a warning so I can mentally prepare. Uri Geller can't do magic.
We'll leave it up to you.
I'll try when I'll really feel up to it, okay? I really have to be in the mood to do things and have them happen. Okay, let me rest a little, all right?
All right.
Uri Geller walks out selling a "you're about to see something impossible" moment, and then the impossible part never shows up.
You know, I'm surprised because before this program, your producer came and he read me at least 40 questions you're going to ask me.
Well, I can ask you all kinds of questions if you'd like me to ask you questions.
I have to have time. And,
You don't feel, what, strong tonight?
I don't
Is that...
feel strong. It's not all tonight. Right now I'm feeling being pressed and then I can't...
Well, I'm not trying to press you. I really not.
No, you're only telling me, well, will you try that or that or that?
Well, I thought that was the idea of...
The studio gets more silent as they all start to notice it's obvious he can't perform.
Not trying to be skeptical. I would love to see these things. I really would.
Right.
Johnny reportedly told Ed McMahon backstage, "I couldn't take the excuses and the silence. He's never coming back." Jane Fonda mentions Zaza Gabor.
You know, you were talking about Zsa Zsa Gabor earlier.
Yeah, everybody's talking about
My
it.
son said, you know, she was on Johnny Carson's show one time. She came there with a cat on her lap, and she said to you, "Do you want to pet my puppy?" You said, "I'd love to if you'd remove that damn cat."
Jane Fonda drops the Zaza rumor on Carson like she's daring him to answer it on national TV. The awkward moment lands when Johnny's face reads as surprise mixed with, "You just put me on the spot."
Is it true?
No, I think I would recall that.
Carson later admitted to his writers, "Fonda caught me completely off guard with that one. I was scrambling for a clean exit." Johnny eats a prized potato chip.
What do we have here? What's that?
Oh, this is a calf, but he doesn't have any eyes. But,
But that does look like the
the
head of a cat.
shape of a cow or a calf.
Right, okay. And this is
That's an 8.
that's an 8.
That's a letter. Number 8.
Myrtle Young sits down treating her oddly shaped potato chips like museum artifacts, and Carson immediately clocks a perfect prank opportunity.
Look at this one, Johnny.
No. No, I didn't.
Gee, poor Myrtle thought I was eating her collection. No, they had a bowl back here of just regular chips, and I had one of those. I wasn't picking up your...
Johnny told the crew afterward, "Her reaction was so real, I actually felt guilty for a second."
Excuse me, you really had a start there, didn't you?
I heard that
You heard that crunch and you thought I was...
Right.
It was eating her act. Okay.
Hulk Hogan's first appearance.
Now, the guy who played the wrestler was a pretty good-sized fellow, and his name is Hulk Hogan, and I'm told in the ring he's about as mean as he is big.
When gigantic Hulk Hogan walked on set, he made Johnny look like an ant.
Down here, any place
Wherever you want. Take my seat, take my desk. Are you, Hulk?
Just fine. Does he want the little footstool?
We have a footstool, but I don't even say that. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You are one good-sized person.
Thank you.
One big man. What do I call you? Hulk, Mr. Hogan? Your Honor, sir?
Mr. Hogan will be fine, definitely.
Mr. Hogan.
How many wrestling fans do we have out here? All right. Do you know anything about Hulkamania?
Hulkamania?
Hulkamania.
If you want me to.
The size contrast becomes instantly awkward when Carson has to acknowledge it, and the audience laughs at the spectacle.
What is Hulkamania?
Well, Hulkamania is the newest thing, Johnny. It's the thing that is sweeping the country. I'm sure some of these guys over here might know about it. I hope.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, thank you. Okay, it's like a new cult. And it's like follow the leader. Everybody does what the Hulkster does. It's like truth, justice, and the Hulk Hogan way.
Right.
And I hope today that we may be able to demonstrate or do a few things with you.
Absolutely.
Carson joked to his staff, "How do you make a normal couch conversation work when the guy looks like he could bench press the desk?"
What are, well, you're already making one, but,
I hate to show off.
well, that's all right. I mean, this is, you are a professional, and, what size are your
They're
biceps?
24 inches, Johnny.
Some women's waists are 24 inches, aren't they?
Right.
Where do you buy your clothes? I mean, obviously you don't go in off the rack. And,
No, the thing is, I have a very big problem with the clothes. I have to have everything custom made.
Yeah.
And usually the problem is getting the arms and the thighs.
Charles Grodin belittles Carson.
I mean, you don't really care what I have to say, do you? Honestly?
No.
I'm trying to cut through the list, the questions.
well, forget
on
the
list.
list.
All right, I'm really asking you man to man as though we weren't here.
Yes, I'm here. I don't know about you.
Charles Grodin walks out, treating Carson less like a host and more like an opponent by questioning the interview itself. The most awkward moment is when he challenges Carson's questions and entire career. Johnny reportedly told friends, "Grodin makes me genuinely uncomfortable sometimes. I'm never sure what's real and what's performance." Betty White's elephant knocks Carson off balance. Betty White brings an elephant onto Carson's set, and the animal immediately tests how much host control exists when something that big decides to move. Betty laughs because she knows the elephant is stealing the scene while Carson tries to regain balance without looking rattled. The audience loves it because Johnny's control disappears for a few seconds as he braces for whatever the elephant does next. Carson jokes through it, but his body language screams professional survival mode. The whole segment becomes a scramble to keep the tone light while the desk stops behaving like a safe zone. What makes it memorable is watching America's most composed host temporarily lose command of his own stage. The elephant doesn't care about talk show etiquette, and that indifference creates chaos. Ed McMahon appears with too much to drink. Ed McMahon comes into the desk banter seeming off rhythm, and Carson has to steer the opening like the show's autopilot just cut out.
About 9 years.
Right, yeah. Several plus several will be about 9.
You said 7 or 8.
No, I didn't say 7 or 8. I said several.
Then you said 7 or 8, and I said
Did
it's
I?
9. Yes.
9. Good, thank you.
Carson keeps the pace up, but he's subtly compensating to prevent the banter from drifting into disaster. The audience notices the slightly delayed cadence, and even normal lines land strangely. It becomes uncomfortable precisely because it's not a planned bit. It reads like the machine slipping in public, and everyone watching knows something's wrong. What people remember is the contrast between Carson's professionalism and a co-host who isn't quite there. The awkwardness builds as Johnny covers for Ed while trying to make it look effortless. But the strain shows in how carefully Carson chooses each word and setup. Shelly Winters dumps her drink on Oliver Reed. Shelly Winters sits down with that big Hollywood storyteller energy, but Oliver Reed keeps poking at her until the mood stops being playful. He pushes with smug, provocative remarks, and the studio tightens as her patience runs out. Instead of trading jokes, she stands up and pours her drink on him, instantly changing the segment from entertainment to damage control. Carson has to keep the show moving while the audience processes whether they just watched a genuine blow-up. The memorable part is the whiplash from laughter to shock to Carson trying to restore normal late-night rhythm. Reed sits there soaking wet, looking stunned, while Winters settles back into her seat like nothing happened. The silence that follows is deafening because nobody knows if this is still part of the show. Carson's face does all the work trying to signal we're still okay to the audience at home. The talking parakeet bit dies on air. A trainer walks out, promising Carson a talking parakeet moment, and the bird immediately refuses to do the one thing it was brought there to do. The trainer looks hopeful, Carson looks patient, and the studio realizes this might be going nowhere. Carson tries encouragement, then jokes, then gentle teasing, but nothing saves the premise. The laughter shifts from anticipation to oh no, because the failure itself becomes the entertainment. The awkwardness peaks when Carson is doing professional CPR on a bit that is clearly beyond saving. The trainer keeps insisting the bird can talk while the bird just sits there silently mocking everyone involved. Carson's reactions become the only content as he navigates the slow-motion crash. The segment drags on longer than it should because nobody knows how to gracefully exit a failed animal bit. Ed Ames' Tomahawk toss that stops the show. Ed Ames lines up a Tomahawk toss like it's going to be a quick demonstration, then nails a throw that creates an accidental visual joke the studio can't recover from. The throw lands in a spot that reads unintentionally suggestive, and the audience reacts like they've discovered a forbidden punchline. Carson tries to regain control, but the room won't reset, so the moment just keeps going and going. The funniest part is Carson realizing he's powerless because the crowd refuses to stop laughing. It becomes a rare case where the awkwardness is the show being held hostage by its own audience reaction. Carson attempts multiple times to move forward, but each attempt triggers another wave of laughter. Ed Ames stands there looking embarrassed, while Johnny just surrenders to the chaos. The segment that should have taken 30 seconds stretches into minutes of uncontrolled audience hysteria. Carson's face cycles through amusement, frustration, and resignation as he waits for the room to calm down. Even the band is laughing, which makes it impossible for Johnny to restore order. The awkwardness is delicious because it's completely innocent, but the visual is so perfect the audience can't let it go. Carson finally makes a joke about it, which only makes things worse by acknowledging what everyone is thinking. The whole thing becomes a legend because it proves even the most professional host can't control pure comedic chaos. Ames never lives it down, and the clip gets replayed for decades as one of Carson's most unintentionally funny moments. What makes it special is the genuine spontaneity. Nobody planned for the Tomahawk to land there, and nobody could have predicted the reaction. Carson later called it one of the longest laughs in Tonight Show history and admitted he had no idea how to handle it in the moment. Don Rickles destroys Carson's cigarette box. Don Rickles storms onto the set like he owns it, then crosses the line by actually breaking Carson's prized cigarette box during a guest hosting appearance.
Oh, Carson's cigarette box! Oh, I broke his box! I broke Carson's cigarette box!
What the hell happened to this?
I don't give a damn if they're on the air. Rickles! Rickles, hold! Stop the taping. Somebody broke my cigarette box. I just started the show. I picked my box up off my desk that I've had for 9 years. They told me you broke it on the show last night. Well, I really...
The room instantly does the math, asking if this is still a joke, or did he just destroy something real and valuable? Rickles keeps talking like it's nothing, which heightens the tension because he refuses to apologize in the moment. Carson plays it deadly seriously, letting the audience laugh while also feeling the discomfort underneath. What makes it legendary is that it lives right on that razor line where real irritation and perfect late-night theater look identical. The box wasn't just a prop, it was a gift Carson valued, and Rickles knew exactly what he was doing. Days later, Carson shows up unannounced on Rickles' CPO Sharky set with Tonight Show cameras to get revenge. He storms onto Rickles' desk mid-scene and destroys it, while Don sputters apologies and tries to explain. That retaliation becomes as famous as the original incident because it proves the feud had real heat behind it. The audience watching both moments can't tell where the bit ends and genuine anger begins. Rickles' face when Carson arrives shows legitimate surprise, like he didn't expect payback to come this way. The whole saga turns into Tonight Show legend because it escalates beyond normal guest behavior. Carson's willingness to chase Rickles to another set shows how personally he took the cigarette box destruction. Their relationship was built on mutual respect, but this moment tested those boundaries in public. The discomfort comes from watching two professionals who clearly like each other also genuinely annoy each other. Neither one backs down, which makes the feud feel authentic even if parts are performed. The fact that it plays out across two different shows on two different networks makes it even more surreal. Marlon Brando versus Gabor on the same couch. Marlon Brando and Gabor share the couch, and the whole segment turns into a tug-of-war over attention and control. She keeps interrupting and pulling focus, while Brando reacts with visible irritation that doesn't read like a joke or a bit. Carson ends up stuck in the middle trying to moderate a segment that keeps slipping away from his control. The audience laughs early, then starts sensing the irritation is genuine, and the mood shifts. The awkwardness comes from watching Carson manage a clash that refuses to settle back into talk show politeness. Brando's body language screams annoyance as she talks over him repeatedly without reading the room. Carson tries to give Brando space to speak, but Gabor won't stop performing for the camera. The tension builds because Brando isn't playing along. He's genuinely bothered by her scene stealing. She seems oblivious to how uncomfortable everyone else is becoming as she monopolizes the conversation. Carson's attempts to balance the segment become increasingly desperate as he realizes neither guest will yield. The whole thing feels like watching a car crash in slow motion because you know it's going wrong but can't look away. Brando's celebrity status means Carson can't just shut him down, but her energy makes it impossible to give him floor. The audience doesn't know whether to laugh or cringe as the dynamic dynamic deteriorates on live television. What should have been a dream pairing of two Hollywood legends becomes a masterclass in incompatible personalities. Carson's professionalism is the only thing preventing complete disaster as he navigates the minefield. The segment ends without resolution, just an awkward transition to commercial that feels like escape. Viewers at home remember it as one of the most uncomfortable guest combinations in Tonight Show history. Tiny Tim's on-air wedding to Miss Vicky. Tiny Tim brings Miss Vicky onto Carson's stage and turns the couch into a real wedding ceremony in front of millions of viewers. The audience doesn't quite know how to react because it's half heartfelt moment and half variety show spectacle. Carson plays it straight, but the sincerity feels strange in a format built for jokes and promotion. The ceremony stretches the show into a personal, intimate scene that doesn't fit the usual late-night rhythm. What makes it so awkward is the tonal mismatch between a genuine life event happening inside a TV machine. The wedding takes up the entire episode on December 17, 1969, drawing over 40 million viewers who tuned in for the bizarre spectacle. Tiny Tim, in his eccentric persona marrying a teenager on national television, felt surreal, even by late 60s standards. Miss Vicky was only 17 years old, which added another layer of discomfort to the whole production. Carson has to maintain decorum while essentially hosting a wedding as entertainment, which blurs every professional line. The ceremony includes traditional vows and rings, but it's happening on a soundstage with cameras and a studio audience. Tiny Tim's falsetto singing and unusual mannerisms make the whole thing feel like performance art pretending to be reality. The intimacy of a wedding ceremony clashes with the public spectacle of millions watching at home. Carson's face throughout shows a man professionally committed to something that personally confuses him. The awkwardness peaks when the kiss happens and the audience erupts, but it's unclear if they're celebrating or just reacting to weirdness. NBC promoted it as event television, but watching it feels like voyeurism into someone's private moment. The fact that the marriage later fell apart adds retroactive discomfort to the whole archived footage. Tiny Tim treated it as the most important moment of his life, while the network treated it as ratings bait. That disconnect between sincerity and exploitation makes it one of the strangest Tonight Show moments ever. Carson never quite escapes the weird energy of officiating a celebrity wedding for entertainment purposes. The whole episode becomes a time capsule of how far late-night television would push boundaries for spectacle. The celebrities in this list understood that a Tonight Show appearance this awkward could be used to turn around their bad delivery into something even more comedic, or sit there soaking up the silence. Which of these awkward moments made you cringe the hardest?
What the biggest contribution that Great Britain has made, and she said, deporting Robin Leach. Hello, 1, 2.
Let us know in the comments section down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for our next deep dives like this.